Hello, beautiful children. It is amazing to see you in my mind's eye. And last week it was lovely to see you in shul as well. Not so lovely, whoever took the children's squishies, but don't worry, children. I'm going to give you double something, please God, next week when we see each other. This time we're going to have 2 videos. The first video is going to be my timeline with a number 3 in it. And the next video is going to be about the Parsha. So, are we ready? Rolling back the time, and one more, rolling back the time, and one more, rolling back the time, and thinking and thinking and thinking. I've got my t-shirt on and I'm ready to go. So, what 3 could that be? Could it be 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days, 3 months, 3 weeks? 3 weeks. This is about the 3 weeks timeline because, children, next Sunday will be a fast day, a day where mummies and daddies and those who are above bar mitzvah, which has got a 3 in it, 13, and those who are above bat mitzvah, it's got a 2 in it, 12, and they're allowed to fast, they will fast because it's a bit of a sad day. So we're entering into a sad time of 3 weeks, a timeline between Shiva Asar Tammuz, the 17th day of Tammuz, and between Tisha B'Av, the 9th, get my numbers right, the 9th day of Av. And it's a full 3 weeks that we count between the strictures of Tammuz, 17th of Tammuz and the 9th of Av, which is designated, 4 syllables, meant to be a time of mourning, not boker, mourning in the daytime, but mourning when we grieve over the destruction of how many houses of Hashem did we have, children? Do you remember? 2 houses of Hashem called the Bet HaMikdash that came after the special tent of Hashem called the Mishkan. And because the Bet Mikdash, the first and the second one, were destroyed, that led us into exile. That's not scrambled and it's not boiled and it's not fried. It's exile when we were displaced. We were moved away from our beautiful land of Israel. Today, some of us can go live there, but because of the first temple definitely being destroyed, they were all exiled. A lot of the Jews were exiled to a place called Babylon. So that was the bees that destroyed the first temple. Not the bees, the Babylonians. And then the second temple was destroyed by the Rs. Not the readers, not the relish, the Romans, because they had a big empire as well. No more Babylonian empire and no more Roman empire today. Still Hashem. In this period, so in this 3 weeks, many calamities befell the Jewish people throughout the generations. It was during this period of between the straits that both the first and second temples were destroyed. So what do we not do during the 3 weeks? Well, some of you might be learning in school and shouting out to me. So, can mummy and daddy have a haircut during the 3 weeks? No. Can children have haircuts during the 3 weeks? Nope. And what about this little girl? Can she have a haircut? Nope. What else isn't allowed? Now, the haircuts, by the way, many in the Sephardi communities actually permit haircuts and shavings for daddies until the week of Tisha B'Av. In other words, until the night before the fast. Okay. Another thing that is forbidden is playing musical instruments for fun. Right. So, jumping about and dancing and singing for fun during the 3 weeks is not permitted. Some more laminates of people jumping about and dancing and singing and having fun. There we go. So we tend not to do that. Okay, another thing that we can't do during the 3 weeks is have weddings. Now, unfortunately, so many people have not been allowed to have weddings anyway because of the yucky virus. But during the 3 weeks, we do not have simchas. joyful occasions. Okay, we don't recite the Shehechiyanu blessing. Shehechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Shehechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. When do we do a Shehechiyanu? When do we say that blessing? We say that blessing over new clothing or eating new fruit that we haven't yet eaten this season. So we can't do any of that during the 3 weeks. Okay, I think I've gone through the no-nos of the 3 weeks. Right, so what can I tell you about Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, the 17th day of Tammuz, the fast day? SPS, some people say, aka also known as Medrash, that our sages tell us of the 5 things, according to the Mishnah Tanit, the 5 calamities that befell the Jewish people on this day. Number 1, Moshe had 2 tablets of stone. He had the luchot, however they were, maybe it was just 1. So he had the luchot, and he was coming down Har Sinai, and he saw the naughty people jumping around a golden calf and behaving in a very bad way, and he broke the 2 tablets of stone on Mount Sinai. So it was one bad thing that happened on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. The second bad thing, when Bnei Israel had Hashem's special house, the Bet HaMikdash, they offered a daily tamid offering. Every day there used to be a korban, a present to Hashem, and that was not brought anymore on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. The third thing, the walls of Jerusalem were breached. Before the destruction of the temple, they managed to get in and make a hole in the wall. Number 4, prior to Bar Kokhba's revolt, there was a revolt, Kokhba and Bar Kokhba, but before that happened, there was a Roman military leader, very yucky person, called Apostomus. I don't know if I've pronounced it right, I hope I have. And he burnt a Torah scroll on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. And number 5, an idol was erected in the temple. An idol was put in the temple. A very famous idol was put in the temple, was the idol of Zeus. That was a Hanukkah story. Anyway, very, very bad. So that is what happened on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. Let's see if I've got more information to give you. Background information now about the houses of Hashem. Who built the first Bet HaMikdash? Be careful with this song because it may not be the right answer. Let's see if you can sing with me. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai v'kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai v'kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai Chai v'kayam. David, and it carries on and on and on. We're all happy. So did King David build the first Bet HaMikdash, the first temple? No. King David HaMelech, was not allowed to build the first Bet HaMikdash. Why? He was such an amazing king. He wrote the Tehillim. Why could he not build the first Bet HaMikdash? Why? Hashem decided that he couldn't because he'd fought in too many wars. He even had to fight against the first king, Shaul. And he had his son fighting. Oh, horrible, lots of fighting. So David HaMelech was not allowed to build the first Bet HaMikdash. Who was it built by then? Who was in charge of the building of the first Bet HaMikdash? The answer is his son, Shlomo, Solomon the Wise. He started building it in his 4th year as king. What material was not used in building the Bet HaMikdash? It had no iron used because iron would be used for weapons, and the Bet HaMikdash is a symbol of everlasting peace. What did the Bet HaMikdash replace? What was there before it? Now you know, children, that the houses of Hashem, of which there were 2, were called the Bet HaMikdash, which means that Hashem's special tent, the Mishkan, was there before. The Bet HaMikdash was completed, we understand, 480 years after the Jews left Egypt. And how many years did it take to build? We are told that it took 7 years to build. Okay. What else can I tell you? Who was king when the first Bet HaMikdash was destroyed, and who destroyed it? Now, if you were listening a little bit earlier, you might know the type of people, what empire it was that was responsible for destroying the first Bet HaMikdash. There was a very righteous king, a very nice person called King Tzidkiyahu. Even his name, we get the idea of tzedek, righteousness, justice. King Tzidkiyahu was a righteous king when King Nebuchadnezzar, the evil, yucky king of Babylonia, destroyed the temple. And we understand that the King Nebuchadnezzar had a granddaughter who we believe was Vashti. That's the Purim story, the queen that Ahasuerus decided to get rid of, and that allowed Esther to become queen. But that's another story. That's not in our Bet HaMikdash timeline, some 3 weeks and things. Why was the first temple destroyed? The first temple was destroyed because of 3 things, our sages tell us: because of idol worship, because of immorality, not being decent to each other, and because of murder. How old was Tzidkiyahu when he became king? Now, those of you who know how old Chloe is, there's always a picture of her in the background and it's got her age. King Tzidkiyahu, SPS, some people say, okay, also known as the Midrash, we're told that King Tzidkiyahu was 21 years old when he became king, and he ruled for 11 years. So when the first Bet HaMikdash was destroyed in the year 3, 3, 3 and 8, how long was the exile? How long was that exile? Let's see if we can count in tens using our fingers as numbers, 2 hands. The exile after the destruction lasted for 70 years. So that was the Babylonians destroyed the temple, of which Nebuchadnezzar was their king, and the first Bet HaMikdash stood for 410 years. The exile lasted 70 years, in which time there was the Purim story. Okay. Who destroyed the second temple and why? Let me just show you a picture of the first temple, whatever, picture about it. Who destroyed the second temple and why? The second temple was destroyed by the Ars, by the Romans, because the Jews hated each other for no reason. Sinat chinam, we have to be very careful about that. How many years after it was first built was the second temple destroyed? 420 years after it was built, on the 9th of Av. Also, the first Bet HaMikdash was destroyed on the 9th of Av, our sages tell us. The second temple was destroyed. So what was the name of the yucky Roman emperor? Well, his name was Herod. And he made the Bet HaMikdash beautiful, but he made it beautiful in his mind's eye by putting a golden eagle over the entrance gate of the temple. It's an idol, it's not allowed. Somebody called Bar Kamsa was invited to someone's party instead of Kamsa, and was embarrassed. He was put to shame in front of the people and the rabbis who could have helped but did not help. If you are silent, you are complicit. Herod's grandson, Agrippa, was poisoned, and Vespasian became emperor, just as Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said he would. And Vespasian's son, Titus, not Lucius, Titus, led the army which broke through the walls of Jerusalem on the 17th day of Tammuz. So, that's that. Let's take a closer look at that party. The Gemara, SPS, some people say, aka also known as the Midrash, teaches us that Jerusalem was destroyed through the following incident. A man had a friend named Kamsa, and an enemy named Bar Kamsa. We shouldn't really have enemies, should we, children, within the Jewish religion. The man sent someone to invite Kamsa to a party, but by mistake, his helper, the person that was working for him, invited Bar Kamsa, the enemy. "Why are you here? Get out!" the host shouted at Bar Kamsa. "But I'm here already," replied Bar Kamsa. "Please don't embarrass me in front of everyone by throwing me out. Would have been a very good opportunity maybe to make friends again. Maybe." Bar Kamsa even offered to pay for the whole party. "I'll pay for the whole party, just please don't embarrass me." But the host insisted that Bar Kamsa leave. Bar Kamsa became furious at the man and furious at the rabbis who were at the party but did not help him. Terrible, isn't it, for the rabbis to stand there and not help? "I will get my revenge," he thought. That's very naughty because we're not allowed to take revenge. Adam nikar bekiso b'choso v'chaso. Man is recognized bekiso, through his pocket, through his money. Bekoso, through his alcohol, through his drink. Bekaso, through his anger. Bar Kamsa went to the Emperor of Rome and told him that the Jews were rebelling against him, and they weren't. The emperor believed him. This drew the Jewish nation closer to their own destruction. Sinat chinam is a very, very dangerous thing, children. So, back to the 17th day of Tammuz. Can you remember the 5 sad things that happened on this day? Moshe broke the 10 commandments coming down Mount Sinai when he saw the Jews dancing around the golden calf. Number 2, in the time of the first Bet HaMikdash, the Jews could no longer offer up their daily sacrifice, their korban, their present to Hashem. Number 3, during the destruction of the second Bet HaMikdash, the Romans managed to break through the walls of Jerusalem. And number 4, the evil Roman general Apostomus burned a Torah scroll. And number 5, an idol was put in the Bet HaMikdash. So that's the 3 weeks timeline, starting on Sunday with the fast day of Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. Listen to your mummies and daddies and do what they say. Listen to your mummies and daddies, please don't forget to pray. Listen to your mummies and daddies, our rabbis lead the way. Then they will be happy. Don't worry, be happy. See you again very soon.